Urban legends and terrifying myths of all kinds seem to surface from all around the world, as reports of strange, supernatural, paranormal, and extraterrestrial accounts spread through a town or region like wildfire. Some of these urban legends tend to never leave the region in which they first began, whereas others might make national headlines all around the world in their appearance. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be covering 5 strange urban legends that come from the country of Indonesia and their strange origins. The Cute Ilarnek of Indonesia. Indonesia holds a strange, rich history of horrifying ghost sightings and claims involving the recently deceased returning back to the land of the living to terrorize anyone of whom comes across them. One of the most popular stories of such strange sightings involves that of the Cute Ilarnek. The Cute Ilarnek is described as being similar to that of urban legends surrounding a lady in white. According to a number of witness reports, the Cute Ilarnek is a lady dressed in a long white gown stained with blood, possesses long black hair, and is the spirit of a woman of whom died during childbirth. The legend claims that the Cute Ilarnek appears only during a full moon, and that if you happen to be too close when she arrives, she will dig her long fingernails deep into your stomach and begin to devour your organs as you're still alive. The only way to know if the Cute Ilarnek is nearby is if you hear the sound of a baby crying softly or a dog whining. If you happen to hear a baby crying loudly or a dog begin to howl, that means that the Cute Ilarnek is moving away and is no longer in the area. The Cute Ilarnek is not always easy to spot, however, as the ghost is capable of taking the form of a beautiful woman in a way to lure men towards it to be devoured. Others claim that if you don't close your eyes when the ghost is near, it will begin to tear them out of the sockets. The winged ahul. Believed to inhabit the denser regions of the jungles of Java, there appears to be a large winged creature that can be found across most of Indonesia. The creature is known as the winged ahul and is thought to be, by many, a possible undiscovered large bat species native only to that region. The first reported encounter with the creature came from a man known as Dr. Ernest Bartels back in 1925. The doctor claimed that he was on the slope of the Salak Mountains studying the many diverse forms of life. He witnessed a massive bat-like creature fly overhead. The creature was described by the doctor as being 28 feet in length from the tips of the wingspan and as having the face of a chimp. Additional reportings of the creature have been made in the modern day, with some reporting that the monster has attacked camps, villages, and hikers on expeditions. Scientists have even theorized that the existence of the creature could be likely that of an undiscovered species, given the fact that there seems to be a rather large bat subspecies that live nearby and populates the denser regions of the mountains and jungles. Today, there has yet to be an explanation as to the existence of the creature, but further expeditions of the area have not been made and no concrete evidence has been gathered surrounding the creature. Indonesia's mysterious stone statues. Described as being similar in size to that of the Easter Island heads, there appears to be a number of large stone statues in Indonesia that have left many people wondering their true purpose and the history surrounding them. Researchers have held conflicting theories as to the dating of these statues, with some claiming they are older than 5,000 years old and others saying that they are as young as 1,000 years old. Either way, the findings have been inconclusive as to the age range of who or what made the statues and at what time. Some hold theories that the figures were that of ancient gods seen as protector beings and watching over the area. Others believe that they could be far more ominous in nature, of proof of advanced ancient civilizations. Interestingly enough, there are more than 1,400 of these large megalithic stone statues that depict mysterious designs of large-headed people with helmets and large eyes. These statues seem to occupy the entire region of the Bada Valley and appear to be no inscriptions of any kind that have left people native to the region to completely ignore the statues as they are not aware of the historical value. Oddly enough, the largest of the statues is described as being over 4 meters tall, which makes it roughly the height of a 2-story building. When the statues were originally discovered, many of the residents nearby were reminded of old legends of giants having once inhabited the region and being cursed by magic and turned to stone. believing that these statues are the last stone remnants of an ancient giant species. To this day, nothing more has been discovered surrounding these statues, and they continue to be a mystery in the modern era. The Bajau people of Indonesia. Referred to and commonly nicknamed the sea nomads, the Bajau people of Indonesia live a complex seaborne life, with their earliest traditions going back to the time of their native ancestors that used the area for its rich resources in the waters and lived the majority of their lives on the oceans. Even today, there are still a vast amount of individuals within the tribe living their lives in small houseboats they refer to as lepers, and travel alongside other houseboats filled with their next of kin and immediate family. Interestingly enough, this small tribe of approximately 1 million people has the incredible ability to spend the majority of their time underwater that greatly exceeds what scientists, researchers, and health experts used to consider and believe was humanly possible. The Bajau people of Indonesia are world-renowned for their advanced abilities in freediving, and because of this can spend up to 5 hours per day underwater on average. At a very early age, the Bajau people will intentionally rupture their eardrums to be able to dive at greater depths to engage in long underwater searches and hunts. The true anomaly in their abilities, however, is the fact that the people of this remote tribe have the incredible ability of being able to hold their breath on average for a total of 13 minutes at a depth of 200 feet, roughly 20 stories deep. For comparison with this statistic, the average person can only hold their breath for roughly 45 seconds to a minute, meaning that by the time you have surfaced for air 13 times, the Bajau people of Indonesia will only be coming back up for a quick breath. This is made all the more impressive at the depths they are able to hold their breath, which for an average person could cut their breath-holding capacity by half. If you are wondering how this incredible feat is made possible, so are the researchers, of whom have not yet been able to crack the code as to the tribe's ability to perform such an extraordinary act. A few scientists have found that after analysing differences in the bodies of the tribesmen, that residents of the population have a spleen that is roughly 50% larger than the average population. Early theories as to the regulation of oxygen-rich blood and the ability to hold their breath have been tied to this finding that has led researchers to believe that perhaps, at greater depths, after the spleen has contracted due to underwater pressures, it begins to expel oxygen-rich blood stored in the organ that allows continual underwater breathing for a prolonged period of time. Hobbit skeletons discovered in Indonesia. It appears that myths of small-statured humans that have commonly been referred to us as hobbits in the fantasy genre of the modern age may not have been just myths after all. Known in the scientific community as Homo floresiensis, a group of skeletons were found that provided definitive proof of hobbit-like humans having existed at one time in human history. These skeletons vary dramatically from modern-day dwarfism, as the genetic lineage appears to have branched off of an earlier ancestral point similar to that of Homo sapiens, Neanderthal, and so on. This has led researchers to wonder what could have possibly caused the extinction of this race and completely changed the viewpoint of the genetic adaptation and evolution of human beings. The skeletons were discovered by researchers back in 2004 on the island of Flores in Indonesia, with evidence that the species have been around up until 12,000 years ago, during the rise of the first human civilizations from around the world. Among skeletons, archaeologists have found evidence that these small hobbit-like people also possessed the ability to make tools from stone and were most likely just as advanced in their development as that of Homo sapiens. The Homo floresiensis has been recreated using modern-day techniques to discover that the species most likely stood at 3.5 feet tall, with many other skeletons falling around this size. This has led many to believe that perhaps the disappearance of this species is tied to the rise of our own species and the disappearance of the Neanderthals. It could very well be that, in the distant past, humans struggled with many other humanoid-like beings before wiping out all other competitors and forming the first steps of civilization and development. But what do you all think of these strange and almost supernatural urban legends floating around the country of Indonesia? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.